There are moments when the soul trembles, not from fear of failure, but from the terrible weight of possibility. My friends, we live in an age where doubt has become fashionable, a cloak we wear to seem wise. We hesitate to believe in what we cannot measure, and we mistrust even the whisper of our own hearts. Yet the truth remains: no great life, no enduring purpose was ever born from certainty alone. Doubt is not sin, it is soil. It is the ground in which belief must take root. A seed cannot grow in marble comfort. It must press through the dark, through uncertainty, to reach the light. So it is with the human spirit. Your doubt does not disqualify you, it prepares you. Belief is not a fragile hope, it is a choice. It is the act of saying, "Though I cannot see the summit, I will climb." To believe is to live as if the invisible is real, to walk toward purpose even when your steps echo in silence. And here lies the miracle when you dare to believe. Life begins to unfold in the direction of your faith. Many souls are not defeated by storms but by stillness. They wait for assurance, for a sign, for perfect timing, and so they waste their strength in waiting. The bridge between doubt and destiny is not understanding, it is movement. Take the first step, and the path will reveal itself. Belief, when left idle, decays into mere opinion. But belief that acts, that works, builds, serves, strives, becomes power. History's great moments were written by those who moved even when their knees shook. Action sanctifies faith. It turns conviction into reality. There will be days when faith feels like foolishness, when effort yields no fruit. Yet it is in persistence that the soul grows roots deep enough to outlast the storm. Every act of courage, every quiet decision to continue, is a victory over despair. To overcome doubt is not to erase it, but to walk through it with eyes fixed on purpose. When you act in faith, the fog begins to clear. When you believe in the unseen good, the unseen begins to take form. And one day, looking back, you will find that doubt was not your enemy. It was your teacher, showing you the strength you already possessed. Doubt is a familiar companion to every human heart. It visits in moments of silence, whispers in the spaces between dreams and decisions, and questions the very steps we take. Yet doubt is not an enemy to destroy, it is a teacher to understand. It reveals the depth of our humanity, reminding us that we are creatures searching for meaning, not machines of certainty. Every mind that has ever created something beautiful first wrestled with uncertainty. The painter wondered if the canvas would come alive, the writer doubted their words, and the leader questioned their strength. But it is in this questioning that conviction is born. When we doubt, we are not weak, we are being refined. Just as fire strengthens metal, doubt strengthens belief by burning away what is shallow and leaving only what is true. Doubt often arises because the human soul longs for security. We crave guarantees before taking steps forward, hoping to avoid the sting of failure or rejection. But life was never meant to be lived in the safety of knowing everything. Growth begins the moment we step into the unknown. The strongest faith does not live in the absence of doubt, it survives in the midst of it. Those who dare to face their doubts discover something powerful. That courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move despite it. Each question that challenges your belief is also an invitation to understand it more deeply. In the journey of human psychology, doubt acts like a mirror. It reflects our insecurities and our hidden desires. It shows where our faith is shallow and where our purpose needs grounding. To run from doubt is to run from growth. To face it is to uncover the core of who we are. When we stop seeing doubt as a threat and start seeing it as a signal, it transforms into energy. The energy that pushes us to seek truth, to ask better questions, and to build stronger convictions. The greatest thinkers and dreamers were not those who never doubted, but those who refused to let doubt stop them. They allowed it to question their path, but never their potential. Doubt, in its truest form, is not the darkness of the mind, but the dawn of discovery. Belief begins as a whisper within the soul, a quiet voice that dares to say, "It's possible." Even when everything around seems to shout otherwise, it is not born from evidence or certainty, but from courage. The courage to trust what the eyes cannot yet see. Every great change in human history started with someone who believed before the proof appeared. Belief is not blind optimism. It is the art of seeing light when others only see shadows. It is the ability to look at the mountain ahead and still take the first step, knowing that the summit is reached not in leaps, but in steady climbs. Human beings are wired to hope, to dream, to reach beyond the visible limits of their world, and belief is the spark that makes that possible. Belief gives shape to identity. The way a person sees themselves determines the way they act. When an individual believes they are capable, their mind opens, their body responds, and their energy aligns with possibility. But when they believe they are limited, even the open door feels like a wall. The power of belief works both ways. It can build or break, heal or harm, lift or limit. This is why nurturing belief is essential to human growth. What you choose to believe about yourself, your purpose, and your potential becomes the map you walk upon. The human mind, when filled with belief, turns obstacles into lessons and failures into foundations. Belief is also deeply social. We draw strength from the faith others show in us. A kind word, a mentor's trust, a parent's encouragement. These simple gestures awaken belief where doubt once lived. Society grows stronger when people believe in one another, when we see beyond faults and into possibilities. Belief is contagious. It inspires others to rise, to act, to build. It spreads like light through the dark corners of fear. Belief, in its purest form, is an act of defiance against despair. It says, "I will not give up, even when the world is uncertain." It reminds the heart that every dream worth living begins with the decision to believe. Not because the path is clear, but because the purpose is worth it. Inaction is the quiet thief of dreams. It creeps into the mind disguised as caution, waiting for the right moment that never truly comes. Many lives remain unfinished not because of failure, but because of hesitation. The human mind often seeks safety in delay, convincing itself that waiting will bring clarity. But the truth is, clarity comes from motion. Action creates understanding, hesitation creates regret. The longer we wait to move, the heavier our fears become. Every moment of inaction feeds doubt, and every small step forward weakens it. The difference between those who live fully and those who only dream is often a single act of courage. The willingness to begin. The paralysis of inaction is rooted in the desire for control. People want to know every outcome before taking the first step. Yet life was never designed to reveal its map in advance. We learn as we walk, we grow as we stumble, and we discover strength only through use. Inaction may feel safe, but it silently drains energy and purpose. Movement, even imperfect movement, keeps the soul alive. The great tragedy of human potential is not in failing, but in refusing to try. Action transforms uncertainty into experience, while inaction turns opportunity into loss. Sociologically, inaction spreads through communities like a quiet contagion. When people around us hesitate, it normalizes stagnation. But when one person dares to act, others find permission to rise. Human beings are influenced not only by ideas but by examples. One decisive step can inspire an entire circle of lives to move beyond fear. This is why taking action is not just a personal victory. It's a social ripple. Every act of initiative, no matter how small, sends a message it is possible. Inaction often hides behind excuses, waiting for the right timing, the perfect plan, or the ideal confidence. But perfection is an illusion that keeps the heart trapped. Confidence is born after the leap, not before it. The path reveals itself to those who start walking. The greatest journeys of life begin not with grand certainty, but with a trembling step. To act is to tell the universe, I am ready to grow. Movement awakens strength, and strength silences fear. Belief without action is like a flame without air. It cannot live long enough to give light. The power of faith reveals itself only when it moves the hands, the mind, and the heart into motion. Many people hold deep dreams within, but keep them locked in imagination, mistaking thought for progress. True belief demands movement. It calls us to translate conviction into visible effort. The moment belief takes form through action, it becomes real, measurable, and inspiring. Every great invention, every movement of change, began with someone who refused to keep belief in silence. When you act upon what you believe, you become proof of your own possibility. Human behavior thrives on evidence. The more we see ourselves act, the stronger our faith becomes. A single small step can ignite confidence that no amount of thinking ever could. Action builds belief the way exercise builds muscle. Through repetition, through movement, through doing. Inaction feeds doubt, but every act of courage strengthens conviction. Even when results are uncertain, consistent action transforms belief into resilience. When people act on their values, they not only change outcomes, but also reshape who they are. Each step forward, however small, declares, I trust in what I stand for. Sociologically, action gives belief the power to influence others. Words inspire minds, but actions move hearts. When others witness a person living their faith, working persistently, and staying true through challenge, it awakens hope in them. Society is moved not by ideas alone, but by the living example of those who dare to live their truth. One act of integrity, one moment of courage, can ripple through communities more powerfully than speeches ever could. People follow what they see practiced, not what they merely hear preached. Action transforms belief from a private thought into a public force. It turns invisible faith into visible change. It teaches that progress is not reserved for the fearless, but for the faithful. Every act of doing proves that belief is not fragile emotion, but enduring strength. Motion keeps the spirit alive. It keeps dreams breathing. To act upon what one believes is to say, I trust the journey more than my fear. Perseverance is the quiet power that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It is not loud, not always celebrated, but it is the force that keeps the human spirit alive when motivation fades. The discipline of perseverance is not about constant excitement. It is about steady commitment. It means showing up even when progress feels invisible, when success seems far away, and when no one is watching. Human nature seeks quick results, but true growth comes slowly through repetition and resilience. Every great success story is written in the ink of endurance. The dreamers who make history are not those who never fell, but those who refuse to stay down. Perseverance is the habit of believing that effort still matters, even when results are delayed. In the journey of life, people often give up not because they are incapable, but because they grow weary. The mind begins to doubt when the reward doesn't arrive on time. But perseverance teaches patience. It trains the heart to trust the process, not the pace. Each small effort builds strength beneath the surface, like roots spreading unseen beneath the soil. When challenges come, it is those hidden roots of discipline that keep a person standing. The human soul was not made to collapse at the first sign of struggle. It was made to adapt, to endure, to overcome. Those who master perseverance discover that failure loses its power over them because they have learned to rise each time. Sociologically, perseverance shapes communities just as it shapes individuals. A society that values endurance becomes one that does not crumble under pressure. When people witness others persisting despite setbacks, they find courage to continue their own paths. Perseverance becomes contagious. It spreads hope and builds collective strength. Families, teams, and nations grow resilient when they learn that quitting is not an option. In a world that glorifies speed, perseverance reminds us that depth matters more than pace. It is the difference between temporary achievement and lasting success. Every act of perseverance teaches self-respect because it says, "I will not let circumstances decide my worth." To persist is to declare that purpose is stronger than pain, and that progress is possible even when it moves one step at a time. Victory over doubt is not the absence of uncertainty, but the mastery of courage in its presence. It is the art of walking through fog and still believing there is sunlight ahead. Every human heart faces moments where fear and confusion blur the path, where logic fails to comfort and hope seems distant. Yet, those who overcome doubt do not wait for perfect confidence. They move despite trembling hands and questioning minds. They understand that faith grows stronger through testing, and that each time doubt is faced, belief deepens its roots. The strength to overcome doubt lies not in knowing every answer, but in trusting that each step forward will reveal what needs to be known. In human behavior, doubt often emerges as protection. The mind's attempt to shield us from failure or disappointment, but protection can turn into a prison when it stops progress. Overcoming doubt requires recognizing that mistakes are not proof of weakness, but evidence of effort. The more a person acts in spite of uncertainty, the more the mind learns that fear does not define limits. Courage and doubt often walk side by side, yet courage always leads the way when the heart chooses purpose over hesitation. Each small victory against doubt rewires the brain to trust itself more deeply. Belief becomes stronger not in comfort, but in confrontation. Sociologically, victory over doubt influences the collective spirit of society. When one person rises from self-doubt, others are reminded of their own potential. Confidence spreads through connection. One person's persistence becomes another's permission to try. Communities that celebrate effort instead of perfection grow stronger because they teach that progress is born from persistence, not certainty. People learn to see failure not as defeat but as discovery. Overcoming doubt becomes a shared story of resilience, one that binds people through empathy and inspiration. The victory is not just personal. It uplifts everyone who witnesses it. The human soul was not designed to live in endless questioning. It was made to move to hope and to create meaning out of struggle. Each time we act despite doubt, we rewrite the story of fear. The victory lies not in being fearless, but in being faithful to the vision that calls from within, no matter how uncertain the path may seem.